Welcome all. Today we are going to discuss about some of the UI controls in Android. The UI controls that we discussed today is going to be button, image button and toggle button. Button. A button is a push button that can be pressed or clicked by the user to perform a particular action. When the user clicks a particular button, is a type of action or event should be performed in the user interface so that an activity should corresponding result will be shown by the activity. Button is a user interface that is used to perform some action when it is clicked or tapped. A button will contain it can be a representation of some words. Normal button can be a representation of words like submit, click here, click me, like that things, or calculate like that things, login, register like that thing can be represented in a button. The basic code used in Android to create a button, we can create it just by simply clicking on the button tag, and automatically the height and width attribute will be available. And the most important part in creating a button is to add the ID by clicking the Android ID tag, and we want to specify a particular ID for the button so that the further application or the further processing of the button can be done in the Java file by using the find view by ID. It helps to connect our backend code with the user interface elements to do the further application or the further working of our input controls. So that's all about button. A button is just like a push or start like UI interface in which user when it is by clicked a particular action to take place or should be performed. This image shows, or this is an example for the button, a normal button. Here the register button is shown after the user writing about the things. The user elements can be registered by clicking the register button, and if the user want to log in into the system after writing the essential elements by clicking the login element, the user will automatically can log into some kind of website, or according to your want it can be modified or can be and the particular action will be performed. Next is the image button. In the other case, it is a normal button is a representation of a button with a particular type or different type of text. In this case, image button. An image button is a button with an image. When the user clicks an image, a particular action will be take place. An image button shows a button with an image instead of the text that can be pressed or clicked by the user. This shows a button, an image button shows an image, a button with an image that can be pressed or clicked by the user. The main tag or the main code need to done in image button in Android Studio just by entering the image button. Automatically the attribute for height and width will appear. Set the appropriate values, and the most important thing in the usage of button is ID. ID should be specified in the case for doing the find view ID to for doing the further processing for the button in the main Java file. And in the since it is an image button, an image should be imported from the drawable folder in our Android Studio. After entering the src code, Android src code, all the images that is important in the drawable folder will be shown in a list likewise. Select the particular image that we want for the corresponding use in an image button. Basically, an image button is a button with an image. It is used to perform some task when the user click or select it. The necessary code to do the image button is just simply by the simply by doing the image button attribute, and it is a class in which we want to import the particular image and the ID for the image button. This is this figure shows an example for the image button. In the case, if we click the YouTube image, it will directly take us to the official website of YouTube. Next, it is toggle button. The best example for toggle button is already in our mobile phone or in our smartphones. For example, take a case if we want to switch on our mobile data in our phone, a particular icon will be shown in our mobile phone. If we want to switch on the phone, after clicking the mobile data, it will be displayed like the color will be changed or the light will be changed to show the user that the current state it is represented with a particular indicator. A light like indicator is shown. It is a best example for a toggle button. A toggle button is basically a button which do perform a particular action when the user click or select it by indicating the current state by using a light indicator or displaying a light like thing. A toggle button is basically a stop or play or on and off button with an indicator. An indicator can be a light indicating the current state of the toggle button. The toggle button is widely used in some of the examples are on and off switches of buttons of audio, on and switches off in our phone Bluetooth, on and switch off our Wi-Fi in our phone, and on and off switches in doing hotspot and other like things. The toggle button can be done by using the toggle button tag. Just by selecting the automatically will be available to adjust height and weight, and most important thing, ID should be set by using the Android ID attribute, and this state the Android test on will currently shows that our button in the off state, and Android test on will shows that the on stage of our toggle button. Actually it is like a button which is it will perform on and off operations for a button with a light like indicator. This is an example. This image shows an example for a toggle button with an on and off. For in the case in the on, when the toggle button is switched on, a particular light like indicator is shown to show that the user the current status of our button. If in the off case, the light will not be displayed. So that's all about button, image button and toggle button. The rest of the process can be understood by explaining a program in the Android Studio. So let's move to Android Studio. So this is the main window of Android Studio. In this case, to develop an Android application, first of all, I have used a linear layout to set all our UI controls. In the given example, I have created first of all I have created a test view in which the printing message will be shown to the user. Here in this case, the welcome message is printed. That the test view can be done easily by just by clicking the test view, and all the attributes needed for the height and width automatically will appear, and more importantly an ID should be set by using the attribute Android ID. This is Android layout gravity or layout gravity attribute will help us to keep the positioning. Here I have set the center horizontal so that test view will be placed in a center like thing, and the Android test will specify the just the size need for the test to be displayed. And another test view is also used here for displaying the text to give the message to the user. Here I have not specified the what kind of test that can be used. A test can be displayed by using the Android test attribute. Here I have not given a test because it is used to perform the an action when a button is clicked. Next is that edit text. In the edit text tag, the user you can enter the details. For example, here the hint, it is the Android hint tag attribute act as an placeholder in which the user can do particular activity, or it is gives the instruction what the user should do in the space. Here the option end message like thing enter name is given in the hint attribute, and a particular ID is also should be the must in doing the all the component to import all the components in our Android Studio. Edit text can be easily implemented just by typing the edit text option, so that all the necessary attributes will be automatically will be displayed in our screen. Next is the main important components in our seminar is the button, image button, and the toggle button. The button can be implemented in our Android Studio just by typing the button or the tags or the attributes needed for the height and width will be available according to your use or according to the display content. Set the attributes that we needed. In the cases of buttons, it is a must that we should add an ID by using the attribute Android ID. Here I set the ID as v1 for the button. This is a button that I created, and the text is also displayed by using the Android state attribute, and the value is passed submit, in which user can say after doing the job, the submit option will submit their value. And the Android on click attribute is used to perform a value perform an action in which it will pass the value to do or to perform a particular operation in our application. Next is the image button. In the case an image button, it is a button with an image. By clicking the image button, automatically all the attributes will be present for the height and width. And ID must in the case of image button. Since it is an image button, an image should be important into your application. By using that attribute Android src. Just by simply typing the Android src, all the images that are available in our drawable tag will be important into our into our main window. After writing the Android src, the images which are present in the drawable folder will be available or shown like in this. Just click the images that we want to use. In this case, I have clicked and taken the images of an image of Android, so that after clicking this, a particular activity will be performed. Next is the toggle button. A toggle button can be performed by just by inputting the toggle button option. An ID must be used by using the attribute Android ID, and most importantly, the attribute which shows the current status of the toggle button should be also used. In this case, the Android test of attribute will help to show that the button is in off state or display the off state, and the Android test on will help us to display the on stage. So that's all about the activity main.xml file. In this case, we want to import all to add the components that we want to use in our Android application. Here I have used a orientation vertical. It will be in a all the components will be in a vertical size, and have set the height and width of the linear layout as match parent, so that the whole content will be placed in the application. In the main activity.java file, we have to first of all create the object of all the classes that we have import. We have add the components in our activity.main.xml file. After creating the object, or after creating the particular object, every component should be linked by using the find view id. The find view id links or connects our backend code with the user interface elements. It can be the buttons, layouts, or test view or edit view, like that things. After using the find view id, a particular parameter r dot id should be passed, and the name or id that be given in the main.xml file should be also be given. In this case, after in the first case, by clicking the button v1, a particular event should occur here, in which t2 does set text. After by clicking the particular button v1, a particular set value should be passed into the test view t2, and the name submitter option will be displayed. So that's all about the code part in the Android. So this can be understood just by running the application. By running the application, let's look through the output of the application. This is the final result of our application that we have created. First of all, the test view with the printing message welcome, and the second test view is present here, and an edit text option component is also given, in which the user can do perform or enter the name like thing is given, and a normal button is present. By clicking the button, a particular action will be performed, and an image button is also given, in which it is represented with an image. After clicking it, a particular action will be performed. And the toggle button, which it is a button light thing or an on off, which shows the on off state with a particular lighter indicator. Here in the edit text option, the user can enter his name. After entering his name, by clicking the submit button, a, a printing message will be shown by using the test view option. Say that the name is submitted. This is the action which is performed by using the attribute on click in our button. This is implemented by using the attribute Android on click. We have set a particular value which shows the user that the current activities are done, and shows by doing the printing message. And this is an image button. It will work completely by clicking it, and particular operation will be done. And in the case of the toggle button, after clicking the toggle button, a light like indicator is shown, which represent that the current state of our button. Currently it is in on state, so that it will represent a blue like indicator as given here. So that's all about the seminar topic: button, image button, and the toggle button. Thank you.